We we are going to move on though. We have to move on because we do have to talk about this stunt that happened in Paris recently. So, the Eiffel Tower was overshadowed because French activists mounted a giant 5 meter high clitoris opposite the phallic tower to mark International Women's Day. What are your thoughts on this stunt?
I mean, the clip
I
was
love
in
it.
competition with the tip. I mean, for me, I love this. Okay, I love it. Normalize seeing our body parts all over the place because don't you remember, ladies? I know for me, we started talking about sexual education in grade 5, and it was every Fridays, a particular time. The lights would go low in the room. Everybody was quiet. You were separated with your friends. We all know the experience and how daunting it was to have those conversations. So yes, I want to see clips posted everywhere, all up and down the place so that we can normalize talking about female
Did you
autonomy.
learn about it looking like that? Kayla, like
No, I
for me,
didn't.
I never.
I
I was
wish
in my
I had.
30s before I knew that that's the way it looked like. Mary, did
Right.
you know it
If
looked
I
like
knew
that?
it, if I knew it
I
looked that
mean,
beautiful instead of what I saw on the projector, dang, I would have paid attention much sooner.
I mean, it is gorgeous. And it is sort of like one of those things that you don't see. It's not as ubiquitous. I personally did know that mine looked that certain way. It's not as stylized and it's certainly not that uniform a hue, let's be honest. But like, I do like the stunt insofar as it prompts conversations around like female pleasure. And I think that there's so much to be said about like centering pleasure in like the somatic experience of having a body. Like I think women oftentimes like reduce themselves. We sort of like disappear, we minimize. And this is like, first of all, LOL, because it's like 5 meter and like I'm in the US, I'm like, how big is that exactly? Like, but I do love that it is like this beautiful, glorious, totemic like monument because it should be. Like, it's just like, I mean, a phallus is just like everywhere. I mean, it's done to death. Let's be honest. Let's get this like other beautiful, Sydney Opera House looking icon on the horizon. Like, I think it's perfectly well timed for that.
I mean, it's true. It is. Go
ahead.
Lainey.
No, I was just going to say, I think that it's interesting to me, like that expression, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, is coming out here because I agree with you, Mary. I agree with you, Kayla, that conversation needs to happen. More clitorises should be seen so that they're more familiar. I just find this particular clitoris, I don't find it beautiful. I actually find it really, I thought it was Jurassic Park. I thought it was a velociraptor. It looks like a dinosaur to me. And to talk to, you talked about uniformity of color and shade. I think that this is like a really aggressive color. I don't understand the pimples running up and down the side. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it has to be. To me, this is ugly. I think that they could have done a better
wait a
job.
minute. Lainey, can I just
heads are
poke
not?
this a little bit? Because the thing is, well, that's the thing,
I
is that
also
we
think
so
penises
often
are
have looked
ugly.
at but penises are, they're both, it's not about, we shouldn't be focusing on the way things look. Penises by themselves, unless you like them because you like the person they're attached to. I think the point of this is to get conversations going, right? The fact is, this is a part of the female anatomy that serves no other purpose but pleasure. That's just remarkable. And people don't talk about it. People have known the way that looks. Of course, part of those legs on that thing are an internal structure.
Is that the conversation that's going to happen on Instagram, Cynthia? Like, that velociraptor shows up on Instagram. Are people in the comments going to be like, this is a pleasure organ and whatever? Or are they going to be like, why does it have pimples on it?
Absolutely yes.
No,
After
I think
this pandemic, absolutely yes. We'll be talking about the pleasure we've gotten.
I think the idea, again, we have to question this idea of focusing all the time on pretty when it comes to especially women's genitals. There's been so much exploitation when it comes to women feeling sheepish or grossed out or bothered by the way that they look down there. And we need to eradicate that from our experiences, because what you want is women focusing on the way that they feel rather than the way they look, so we can increase pleasure possibilities. So I will stop my rant now.
There's got to be space in between pretty, too pretty. I get it, Cynthia. And it looks like something that belongs in your pool that you can like float on.
I will.
I think that
I will
there's
have
some space.
conversations. Let's celebrate hot pink clitorises everywhere. Come.